It's been a little podcast.
Maybe we should redo our intro.
Just tell me when it's on.
It's on right now.
It's on right now?
Yes.
God damn you, Ben. Welcome to the Ben and Lewis podcast, the podcast with a terrible name and even worse hosts. I'm Lewis, and I'm joined by...
Ben. I don't have like a pseudonym yet, but I guess just Lincoln.
Just say Ben. Just say Ben.
Ben or Lincoln, either one.
Ben or Lincoln. Ben Jr. Lincoln. So, this is our first episode of this podcast, a bit of a pilot. And what we're going to be doing is doing a tier list of Death Grips projects. And if you don't know who Death Grips are, they are the annoying band that your annoying friend won't shut the fuck up about.
That is the best description I can even imagine for them, but just using this right now as a warning for if you found them through Anthony Fantano, you're probably going to disagree with at least my takes. And if you're recommended them by someone who subscribed to him, I would just not even listen. It's probably not worth it because they're going to be annoying about it the entire time. But regardless...
Do you know that ex-military changed the game? Did you know that Robert Pattinson really likes ex-military?
There's so much random facts that they'll know, just like are very
like William
relevant to
Shatner
music.
quoting No Love.
Yeah, exactly. And the Bottomless Pit album cover is the Mexican girl from ex-military, so there's like lore continuing. There's a lot to be said. That does not
And this is a pretty visual thing that we're doing here, but for our audio listeners, we're going to be describing it so you don't feel left out.
Yes, exactly. Because we'll
But
definitely
if you
have
want to
tons of
see,
listeners on every platform.
yeah. So if you want to see what we're doing, go to youtube.com/PewDiePie, and you'll be able to see the podcast.
Great. We do not have a name yet, so that's probably the best place to find us for now.
Yeah, youtube.com/Keem Drama Alert.
That definitely will lead to someone that has anything to do with us. Thank you, Lewis. Very
You're
helpful
welcome.
promotion.
For audio listeners, I was going to try and get us back on track, but then Ben punched me in the face, so now we're moving on.
Yeah, that's just gonna happen sometimes. It really depends on the take he gives, but I'll try not to insult him usually.
We're in the same room right now, by the way. For audio listeners, we're in the exact same room, and
Yeah, that's
we
very true. Thank you.
we live in the same place. We live in Phoenix, Arizona. What's
Phoenix,
Walter White's
Arizona.
address? Do you know Walter White's address off by heart?
308 Negro Arroyo Lane, Phoenix, Arizona, I guess.
If we live in Phoenix, Arizona, never mind. So, for the first
Great tangent.
thing
Thank you.
that we're doing, it's the debut Death Grips EP,
Which
released in
is
2011.
This one, no, God, this one right here, right? Full Moon Classic, Death Grips Classic.
Death Classic, that is true. So
Classic.
what this is 3 tracks and also 3 ex-military tracks. But I feel like we should rank this based on the 3 original tracks that are on it instead of the ex-military tracks,
Yeah, we'll get into the ex-military tracks once we're on that album.
which is next. So we have to wait like 5 seconds.
Yeah, so try
So
not
for
to
this,
start it on 2 times speed if you can't wait the 30 seconds.
just skip ahead about 5 hours and you should be there.
Exactly.
So this, I feel like it's a pretty decent debut. Full Moon, you know, it's a classic. Everyone loves it.
Yeah, I
The
agree. It's
the
definitely, iconic for fans. Having one of
Mhm.
these songs actually on Spotify helps. There's one from each ex-military and this album on Spotify from what I know. Unless there's more on there, I just haven't seen.
No, there's just Guillotine on Spotify.
Okay, yeah, so Guillotine and then whatever's on this. There's one, this album cover is on Spotify, so you will find
Yeah,
at
it's
least one
Full
song
Moon.
off of it.
Yeah, Full Moon's on Spotify.
Yeah,
I think the other 2 are not. I believe because of sample clearance, but I might be wrong about that.
there is not an upload on either platform for anyone. You have to find both of these albums illegally unless you go to their website. And hopefully
Yeah,
the link is still up to date.
thirdworlds.net, you can download the files. Death Grips have actually organized the website very well. It looks very clean now.
Yeah, it does look a lot better. I just wish they would organize some audio files as well. But regardless, I think the fact that they are on streaming adds to a hipster mystique. So people listen to these and say they're their favorite, it makes them seem cool, makes them think they're cool. But regardless, I do think that there is a few good songs on here. You can clearly see that they use that influence on ex-military afterwards, even on the songs that aren't already on the CP. And I
Hmm.
do think like they still had stuff to do. Like they still had time to learn what they're doing before
Flesh out the
ex-military.
sound.
Yeah, exactly. I think the way that it sounded on here is cool. You could definitely tell they're going from a more punk perspective, but you really wouldn't hear that more until you got to ex-military fully. So
Exactly.
like I
So I
don't
was thinking F tier.
we don't know our ex-military ranking yet, but it has to be behind that because it wasn't fleshed out enough as it was in ex-military. I would
Well,
say.
I think the Death Grip song and Face Melter are just okay songs. Like if they're on, I'll listen to them, but I'm not going to actively choose to listen to them.
Yeah, I get that.
Um, but like Full Moon bumps this up to I'd say maybe a C tier for a first one.
Yeah, I think C tier is agreeable because I wouldn't put this on either unless I like really wanted to know their history at that time. So, yeah.
Well, Death Grip EP is in C tier, right bang in the middle. And for our audio listeners, we're on Tier Maker right now, and is seven tiers: S, A, B, C, D, and F, and S being the best and F being the worst. We've just put this Death Grip EP in the right bang in the middle in C tier, which I think is
It's
a
about
good place for it.
I wouldn't say it's mid either.
No, it's not mid. It's
it
just like
happens to be in the middle of the list, so
eh,
that's
I think it's
just
fair.
how it falls. Yes. So,
And now 5 hours later, it's ex-military.
yes. Why is this not full screen? There we go. Okay. Ex-military. So, what is your thoughts on this album?
It's a mixtape actually.
Thank you. What are your thoughts on this mixtape, you Fantano stan?
I'm not a Fantano fan.
Okay, okay. I don't mean to offend you. Just give me your thoughts on
For
this piece of music.
for our audio listeners, Ben has a shrine to Fantano in his basement,
I do. I'm actually standing in it right now as we record this to make sure that I can
and we're
harness
in the same room,
reviewing
so I'm
skills.
seeing the shrine
Yeah,
as well.
okay, thanks.
So ex-military is pretty good.
Is that all you have to say?
That's all we have to say. Moving on.
Okay. I think
Yeah, but it's a classic. I
Guillotine is
mean,
like a.
what do you want me to say about ex-military? Like,
I mean, the history of Guillotine on its own, becoming a meme, probably introduced so many people to this music. It's such an
hmm
important and hard hitting song. To the point where I feel like some people hear it and they don't realize that it's like a respected music group and not a meme just because of how absurd it sounds compared to most rap music. But at the same time, there's so much experimentation on this album that was clearly what they were trying to do in the EP before this. But they really fleshed it out more and made it, stand out on its own. I don't know what the music industry at all was like around the time this came out, or that
this
scene
was
specifically.
2011.
Yeah, like I don't think rap had seen anything like this yet at all.
No,
Because this is way more punk influenced than rap. So hearing these sounds in a primarily like vocally rap album is very interesting, and I think the impact of it is crazy. The sounds are amazing for the most part. There's a few songs that are like ridiculous in like a
I
I don't
want
know if
it.
I
I
want to.
need it. It made me feel needed.
That's a great song. I'm trying to think.
It goes on for too long, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm thinking of stuff like that. I feel like they don't know their song structures yet perfectly. They know what to do with the punk vocals and the rapping parts. Same with the instrumentals mostly. It just feels like they weren't really making well structured music for a certain amount of songs on that album.
hmm
I just think they could have done better with the way the album flowed. It's like it really does feel like a mixtape. So
Yeah.
I think that's an
Jesus,
excuse
what
for
the
it.
hell happened to my voice then? Um,
It's excusable.
I
Just don't let it happen
feel
again.
like my least favorite on this is probably known for it because known for it, in my opinion, is a little bit boring.
My least favorite is
Tachyon.
Tachyon is great. Tachyon is so hard hitting. It's a little weird. I guess I don't want to say spread eagle across the block, but it sort of hurts to listen to.
How's it hurt to listen to?
It's just really grating. Like there's songs that drag on
Spreading
too long,
across
like you
the
said.
spreading across the block. Dun,
Yeah,
dun, dun.
that's that part
Great.
specifically. It sounds really cool. It hits hard. I just feel like that is the one moment on the album where the audio just doesn't agree with me. Even if something drags on too long, it usually sounds cool on here. It just that song just hurts my head, and I might just be having a skill issue, but that is my least favorite because of that.
People are gonna eat you alive, by the way.
If anyone here is listening is actually a Death Grips fan, then yeah, probably.
For our audio listeners, we're going to put this in A tier. I think. I would put it in S personally, but I think S should be something we both agree on. And since you don't like Spread Eagle that much, I feel like we should put it in A.
I think it's a really important album for them. I don't think it's anywhere near their best work musically at all, but because of its
It's in top three for
importance,
me.
I
Top
would
three for
put
me.
it at B. You'd put it at A.
You would put it in B?
I would definitely put this in B just because I wouldn't ever want to come back to
Wow.
this more than like a few times. I think the music stands on its own as a good piece of like history for them. Same with the EP before it. There's just a few songs in here that really don't sound like they're there yet.
I feel like we have to put it in A. I think we're going to get roasted if we put it in B tier.
Well, let's get some attention on ourselves. You said if we disagree, we put it a lower below letter below, right?
No, we even it out.
What's A plus B divided by 2 then?
21.
Thank you. Okay. So should we just make
So
a
we're putting in
21
A
tier?
tier.
Okay, okay. We're just gonna put it in A to make people happy when they see the thumbnail. Then they can click on it and get mad at me in the
But we're not going to put
process.
the entire tier list in the thumbnail. That would be retarded. Like, here's this tier list we did. Enjoy this 5-hour podcast.
You're right. We can't spoil that immediately. You're much better at YouTube clickbait than I am.
I'm actually a YouTuber with 7 billion subscribers. Everyone subscribed to me.
Are you T
I'm
Series
Mr.
then?
Beast.
Oh, okay. You're Mr. Beast. I thought T Series had more
Mr. Beast.
subscribers still.
No, I'm Mr. Beast plus Beast Gaming plus Beast
Oh,
Philanthropy.
okay. You're the Beast Enterprise. Thank you.
I am Mr. Beast. And
I,
I'm in Kung Fu Panda 4, which I can't promote because the strike is over.
I how am I supposed to respond to you becoming Mr. Beast halfway through this podcast? What am I?
Today we kidnapped the king, and we're gonna see how this happens.
Is that is that the plot of Kung Fu Panda 4? Or are you just making that up as
No,
well?
that was a Mr. Beast thing.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll see that on your other channels then. We have a
Yeah,
we have
make
a
sure you
photography.
subscribe to MrBeast.com, YouTube.com/MrBeast. The Money Store.
Okay, great transition. The Money Store for me is the moment where they became themselves fully. Every single part of this album, besides a specific song that I'll get into,
I know
is
which
really
song you're
good.
talking about as well, and I'm so furious.
Do you know how? I haven't
Yes,
said anything about this
because
song to you.
we've talked about Death Grips many times before, and I know which song you're going to be talking about,
All
and
right.
I like that
Why don't
song.
you spoil it for our audience then? What song am I going to be hating on today?
Fuck that.
You're right. I don't think that song sounds anywhere near the quality of the rest of the songs on this album at all.
What? It's so good. The
It's re-
drums.
the instrumental behind it is repetitive and weird. They sampled something that makes no sense, which for Death Grips sounds like a positive, but they didn't even make it make sense in the context of this instrumental. It
The
feels like
drums
it
are so
feels like Death
good.
Grips making a Death Grips song when they just heard a Death Grips tutorial. Like they
I,
looked up how to make a Death Grips song online and they did it, and it just came out generic and weird and like nowhere near as like as good as any of the rest of these songs on this album. But regardless, I might be getting ahead of myself. What do you think of this album?
it's good.
So that's gonna be your thoughts for all of these. Is that all you have to
Yeah,
say?
that's the running bit. Um, I wanted to reference that. Fuck, that was also Fantano's least favorite when he reviewed it. So I'm just gonna put that out in the so do with that
I
with that
haven't
information what
listened
you
to
will.
that review in years. The only thing I remember is him saying that Hacker is a rap song from like 10 years in the future. And I guess I agree. He thinks it's like like we weren't ready to hear that song yet. But 10 years
What like
later, it's like
this was
this is fine.
2012, so 2022. Like what rap albums came out in 2022?
I don't think there's any good music in 2022.
That's not true at all.
I'm gonna
But
I'm
I can't
gonna
remember a
I'm
specific
gonna look
album.
rap I'm
So
gonna look up rap albums in 2022 for you right now. I
I think
promise
Denzel
something good came
Curry.
out that
I think
year.
Am I crazy? Was that Dental Curry 2022? I
The
think that was
Forever
Kid.
Story came out.
Oh,
King's
Forever
Disease
Story.
3.
Okay.
Melt My Eyes, See Your Future.
Yeah, yeah, Dental Curry.
Her Loss, Mr. Morale, Nothing.
Oh, Mr. Morale. Yeah, so
Okay,
nothing
maybe
came out in 2022. It was pretty dead year.
maybe maybe I misjudged that year, but regardless, any one of those artists could have made Hacker if they wanted to in the last 10 years.
I
Before
don't
that,
think Kendrick Lamar could have made Hacker. I
I
don't think he could.
I could see him mixing it with like tribal instruments like he did in To Pimp a Butterfly pretty easily. Those drum beats in Mama were like very similar to something you would have heard in Hacker. I'm not here to debate if Kendrick Lamar could have made Hacker. I'm just saying that his prediction that no one would make this, no one would even understand it until 2022 was ridiculous. And it's just one of the songs on the album. I think it's a good closer, but it's not all that everyone makes it out to be because you said that.
It is. It's legendary. It's
It's
so good.
it's a good death grip
I'm in
song.
your area. Are we gonna get copyrighted for that? Never mind.
Yeah, you sound just like him. We're not gonna survive the
I'm
copyright
in
strike
your
after that.
area. I'm in.
Yeah, okay,
Let's
thank
get a
you.
race check on us two. What race are you, Ben?
What race am I? Or what Riz
Mhm.
am I?
I didn't say Riz. You are a Gen Z. Right, where we're putting the money still. Ben
I
is Mexican, by the way, for
I'm
all
ac-
your listeners.
I'm mixed. I'm mixed.
You're mixed, so you can
I'm
say the N
like
word.
no, because I'm only mixed with white races.
So you,
I'm
the
like
money
every
still is going
variant
in
of
A
white.
tier.
A tier, not S tier. This is the
But
album.
I assumed fuck that would make this an A tier for you.
It's not a good song, but the rest of the album's too good to even like. You can just press skip sometimes. If you just need to press skip once on an
Okay,
album,
I disagree with that so much. I disagree.
even the transition is it bitch please to hacker then if you skip fuck that, or is there something between those? Am I not remembering this the order properly? Because
I
I feel
think
like
Bitch
any other
Please is
song.
before Hacker. I think fuck that is before Bitch Please.
Oh, okay, then you can skip that song
I think.
so easily without any interruption to the album entirely. You are fine. You could
I
blacklist
know,
a
but
song
like
from your Spotify and
I,
never have to
I
hear it.
disagree.
The album would be great. The fact that it was
Well,
made
you're
was a
wrong, but
mistake, and they
you're wrong,
could
but
just remove it from the album, but they just decided not to. That's all I'm saying. So if we disagree on S tier, it has to go in A, right?
no, I agree with S tier, but like I just assumed you would be putting in A tier.
I would put in S tier for the impact alone,
Uh,
because Explanatory had the same impact,
Hang
but
on,
Money
what?
Store had better songs.
You would put in S or B?
S tier. When did I say B?
You said B. You said you would put in S or B.
Did I just say? I don't think I just said
Yes, you did.
that. I
Are you
really.
having a stroke?
I said nothing about B tier.
You did. I run the tapes back. Run the tapes back.
I'll edit it. I'll let them decide. I'll make sure to rewind it for them.
All of our loyal listeners.
Okay, so this is S tier. I don't think
This is
either
S
of us
tier.
disagree.
No, absolutely not.
Okay, what's the next
And
album I made?
next,
Oh god, I have to move. I'm not gonna move it. It's just right here. It's the black square my mouse is on right now.
next is the Penis album.
Yeah, that's No
Penis
Love Deep
music.
Web. Released the same year as the Money Store after they. What happened with their label? They
They
left their
got
label. No, they
they got
released it
bought by
early,
Epic,
and then they.
and then they left Epic because they promised 2 albums in a year and also a concert.
And they
It
didn't
was
want
kind
to
of crazy.
show up to their concert as usual, and
Yeah.
they didn't care about their album having any hype around it, so they just decided to release it with a penis. And
It was an ARG, if you remember that. They released No Love Deep Web with an ARG.
were you
They
around
did it
for
before it was
the?
cool.
Were you participating in that ARG in 2012 when you were 10 years old?
Yes, I was. I was the lead researcher in that. Um,
Okay.
so No Love Deep Web is a lot more stripped back than all the other works.
It's I like to describe it as like the most schizophrenic album they've ever made. I really can't imagine something
Mm-hmm.
more intensely just
Maybe N-words on the moon.
screaming vocals. Well, that album, we'll get into
It's
that.
like that's a little bit more schizophrenic.
The the first track on No Love Deep Web is the most schizophrenic thing I've ever heard in my life.
Very true.
Hearing that sets the tone for the rest of it as this like the ramblings you would hear of a homeless man in like an alleyway as you walk by. but in album
Ah, the
form.
the homeless man comparison, a classic.
Listen, it's real. His looks are homeless, but I'm not even talking about how he
That's
looks.
racist as hell.
Yeah, I'm describing him being black as him being homeless. Definitely not the beard and the unkempt everything he's ever worn.
MC Riley is handsome as hell.
And he looks like he hasn't had a home for the last 20 years. But
I'm sure he has a lovely house. He has a cat. I know that he has a cat. The cat might be dead, but he had a cat at one point. Um,
okay,
so
how does
this
that factor
album,
into this album's ranking?
it does. That makes it S tier because Ben loves cats for audio listeners.
I really enjoy cats. I really should not say my thoughts on cats. I will not have a platform anymore.
Um, this album was recorded entirely within a mansion. I don't remember the name, but it was like, was it French? No, it wasn't. I'm lying. Um, but it was recorded in a mansion, and so was the album cover that was taken there. And it was Sakil's. Um, what would you describe that as?
His penis? What do you mean? What I described that as? What are you talking
Or
about?
what would you describe it as? Like, is it big? Is it small? Is it wide? Is it hefty?
All right, I would put this album in B tier. Pretty,
B tier.
I think that's the best place to put this. Only because there's a few songs in here that are so not memorable to me. Like, bass rattles stars in the
That's so
west.
good. What are you on about?
I don't even remember how that song goes
Let's
after
try the
having heard
stars
it
in the
30 minutes
sky.
ago.
Damn.
It's just, it just sounds like another Death Grip song.
Yeah, no
It's
shit.
another one of
That's good.
those. It's another one of those formulaic. They looked up how to make a Death Grip song. It's Death Grip songs. There's nothing that makes it stand out to me. There's a few songs on there as well where like, this is the album where I feel like MC Ride became more of a rapper at certain points than he had been in the
Yeah.
past, and I think that's cool. But the songs that he's just shouting on, besides the first track, which it's like "Get Up, Come Up and Get Me," I think,
Come up and get me.
yeah, that he perfected the schizophrenic shouting right there.
Yeah, he
Because
he loses his voice like
it does sound
almost
like
during
he
the
was
song.
sort of like deteriorating as he went through it, which sort of helps with the narrative. Maybe it was just actually his throat giving up on him. But that song alone pushes the song up really high, or this album up really high. I can't see it going above B. I don't think it's anywhere near Ex-Military or The Money Store.
Okay, so for me, I think this album is a little bit front loaded because in the first half you have Come Up and Get Me and you have No Love and you have World of Dogs and Lucky Doors.
No Love is an iconic, like that song. If Guillotine didn't hook you when you heard it, if you heard No Love, you had to become a fan. It was
Absolutely.
in BoJack Horseman.
It was in BoJack Horseman,
That
bro.
is the sign that it is a song that exists outside of weird internet culture.
I bet all the Death Grips fans when they're watching BoJack Horseman are like, ah, ah, ah,
Exactly. I watched that show
ah.
like 2 years ago for the first time. I had no idea Death Grips was in it. Hearing that reinforced that Death Grips exist, and they aren't just a Fantano psyop.
They are indeed exist. There's Fantano psyop, industry plant by Fantano.
And
Um,
yeah, no one else knew what ex-military was before Anthony Fantano. Be real. No one else had ever heard of it. But regardless, where would you put this tier list?
so, um, I like a lot of songs here, but I feel like a lot of them are also really boring. Like,
Empty Space. There's a lot of that in
yeah,
these
empty
songs.
space. Like Whammy is repetitive. I know you like Black Dice, but I'm not a
Black
huge fan of
Dice is
Black
like,
Dice.
I don't even know. It's like some variant of like if you're playing a Need for Speed game that was set in Tokyo. There's probably a title for that, but the vibes it gives, it's like vaporwave
Mario.
almost. I like it.
Um, yeah, but like, I know everyone loves Hunger Games. I do like Hunger Games before anyone says I like it.
It's not
But I feel like
memorable.
it's just a little bit boring, just a little bit, just a tiniest inch of a bit. I know the meme's funny. My dudes live on the swing set, push me, swing
What are you
into
saying?
tomorrow. Do. Okay, it's good. It's a good song. Um, but like, and the ending two tracks I like a lot. Base Rock Stars, Artificial Death, those are good. But I feel like it's very front loaded, and the end is quite good. But a lot of songs in the middle kind of like fade out of my memory.
I think that
So I
might
think
be
B
my
tier.
issue. Okay, B tier as well. I think my issue with the album comes from the same thing, is that halfway through the songs start getting boring. So by the end, even if the songs were incredible, I'm sort of like more tuned out than I would have been if
Yeah.
everything hit hard. Maybe that's why I'm not remembering those songs. But anyway, B tier, and hopefully my sensor is very helpful there. You don't see any of that.
You know, see Zakil's erect penis with marker on it.
Why did you just say it like that? Every
What?
single word in that sentence had a different, had a different
But that's what it is.
interpretation.
It's erect penis.
Okay, thank you.
His uncut penis with no foreskin on it.
You just said both parts of that sentence were the opposite of each other. But anyway, what is the next
What are
album
you
he
on
made?
about? He's uncut. He doesn't have a foreskin.
Uncut.
You're looking at the same penis I am, Ben.
Uncut doesn't mean that you don't. That's cut because they cut it off. What are you saying?
For our audio listeners, I'm retarded. So we're moving on.
Okay, what is the next album they made?
Government
Okay, yes,
plates.
I love Government Plates. I'm probably gonna be like sort of biased on this just because when I first heard this, I had only like just found Death Grips, and I just listened to the entire album full blast with the visualizer, and it was like a new world for me.
Visualize crazy.
Immediately, just the most mind blowing thing I'd ever seen because I had not even gone to the genre of music yet. So seeing this with the visualizer full volume was, I will not ever forget it. But in reality, I feel like they are sort of lesser songs than usual
Hmm.
compared to their other albums. I mean, the ridiculous Pillbox song title. That's
You might think he loves you for your money, but I know what he really loves you for is your brand new leopard skin pillbox hat
yeah,
and all half my heart.
that song is incredible. The rest of them feel more like atmosphere setting music. Like I feel like his vocals aren't even
You
as
know, tell me
present in
you
this
would.
album.
You're not telling me you would bang the shit out of Anne Bonny. Anne Bonny is fucking insane.
Yes, that and the Pillbox
I'm on
Hat
the
song
on the
are
yellow pill
like
shit.
a lot more present
Fucking
than the
you.
rest. I feel like the rest of these would go really well on like
What about I'm Overflow? I'm Overflow's crazy. I'm Overflow.
I
Hot
know what
shit.
you're saying, but these just have different tones in the rest of their music, it feels like. The
It's more of
visualizer
an
is perfect.
instrumental
It's like
album.
more of a dark void of like random sounds,
Hmm.
but I don't know. I think I'm just seeing it through the visualizer too much.
I love the visualizer.
It
It's crazy.
just it's such an atmospheric like this could have been an instrumental album. But they wanted his voice there sometimes too. I think it was
Yeah.
a good blend of those. I know that that one bald guy didn't really care about this album.
Who is he? What's his name again?
I, I hold on. I think it was like I don't remember really. I don't think
Matthew Santoro.
I don't think he's that relevant anymore. It might have been Dr. Phil. Um,
Dr. Phil. It was Dr. Phil. That was right.
yeah,
So Dr. Phil didn't like this album,
yeah,
but
but
I
he's
also
irrelevant.
kind of like Government Plates. I kind of like it. It's kind of like I was gonna say wholesome. That's not the right word. It's like it has a special place in my heart.
Extremely wholesome.
It's a very wholesome album. Um, the entire narrative of like going on a drug trip and dying is crazy. If you're not watched it full album with the music video visualizers, it's a wild experience. Like only the first and last song are like live action, so to speak.
This should be a good album to experience in a VR headset if they had a 360 experience. I've always thought that because it is way more uh, vibe and atmosphere focused than the rest of their just intense albums throughout.
Absolutely.
So it sounds like we're
But I
both
like this
personally
a lot.
biased to this album. Would
I
you
am
put
also kind
it
of like.
around A or B tier?
Okay, so here's the thing. I do love this album. There is one thing from keeping it from being goaded for me, and that's bootleg. Bootleg is not a song. It's not a song.
It's the loading screen for the next song to me.
It's
That's
the
what I've
load.
always
It's
felt
yeah,
like.
that's exactly what it is. It's the loading screen for fuck it. Fuck who's watching?
Exactly. So
Yeah, but that song, it's not a song.
one
So I
single
would
song
say,
pulls you away from it being in the highest tier it could be.
yeah. So it would be like S or A for me without bootleg, but with bootleg and also with like the lack of MC Ride or Ride or whatever. I don't give a shit. Fuck you. I would say it's B tier.
B tier. I can agree on that. Although I didn't like one song on Money Store and just landed up in S tier, but we can ignore that.
Well,
um,
you're the one who said put it in S tier. I was like,
I
oh,
know
I'm
it's
surprised.
real. It's just it should be there. I have to put it there. We don't want our house to be firebombed. Our house is. You do not live here. Um,
We're in the same room.
we are in the same room currently. You do not live here. You leave within the next
Yeah, I
30
do.
minutes.
But we sleep in the same bed.
I, moving on. Moving on
Moving
entirely off of
on.
that topic. What
We
album
have the
came
album that we
next?
can't say the name of because we are
Oh,
both
this.
white.
Okay. This is their best album. This is the
Okay,
best piece of music
here's
they've
where we're
ever
going to be
created
disagreeing a lot.
in
This is the
their
album that we're going to disagree
career
with
at
all of.
all. I The Bjork collab is crazy. No one could have ever expected her. I mean, I guess out of anyone it would be her, but still, Bjork and Death Grips would not have crossed over in anyone's mind until this. But
Calling it a crossover is kind of crazy because they just sampled her already existing songs just for her
with her
vocals.
permission, that's a huge
Yeah,
part
but
of this.
it's
That
like
means that she
it's
likes
just a
Death
sample.
Grips and that
It's not,
she's
it's not like
aware
a
of this album,
feature. It's not a feature.
regardless of if she was there in the studio or she already sang it and they stole it.
Have you seen the video of Bjork DJing at like RuPaul's Drag Race and she puts on Guillotine? She's like, "Yeah, I can't scream, but she screams."
So
That video
yes,
was
she's a
fucking
huge fan.
crazy.
I've never seen that, but that sounds like something she would do, and that doesn't mean
I
they
need
couldn't
to read that
successfully
video. That
support
video
her.
was fucking insane.
Okay, for
She headbanged
our
Guillotine.
bonus Patreon content for subscribers
But what is
only,
Patreon content?
we'll have me reacting to that video.
And it's gonna be 5 seconds long.
Yes, important
For
content.
$15, you can see Ben
You can see me for $15. Okay,
face reveal.
that would
So
be an
this album,
OnlyFans situation, not Patreon. But
whoa,
I, what, why is there silence now? You know what I'm saying is that like I'm not gonna
know
face
what
you
you're
to that
saying?
Patreon.
You're gonna get us demonetized.
Saying that word does not get you demonetized.
It
Otherwise,
absolutely
half
does.
of YouTube would be gone right now. Markiplier wouldn't be
OnlyFans,
demonetized.
Pornhub, Mia Khalifa. What's
This
some
is
other like
awful.
keywords?
Please move on.
Keywords.
There's nothing else to say on that topic. What I was saying about the album, regardless of Bjork even, it has their best electronic drops out of anything they've ever made.
Uh,
It has by far their most out there lyrics that they have ever created for any album. Up My
fuck
Sleeves
me
is
out.
crazy. That that latter half of the album is hilarious. It's a little weird in like party music, but it's just fun.
Have a sad calm, baby. Oh.
Exactly. Like Big Dipper, they have never made anything like Big Dipper ever again. Those sounds are
Dipper, Big
crazy.
Dipper, Big Dipper.
This is
And the
probably
Bjork.
another more instrumental focus album. At least for me, that's what I focus on. I know he's very present here. It's just if you're a fan of any electronic, I guess I wouldn't call it electronic hardcore. It's more experimental, I guess. Every sound on this
Wow,
album is just
opinion,
perfect to me.
hot take of the year, everyone.
I am just trying to categorize it. I'm not giving any takes yet. This album is S tier. That's my hot take.
Oh my god, okay.
This
I,
has the
I,
most
I,
plays out of any Death Grips album I've ever heard, and this is the only one I would go back to frequently, like even later in life, because the rest of these are just time and place. This one can be played anywhere.
I don't think it's S tier. I don't.
What are your
Because,
actual thoughts on this album other than it's good then? What do you think of this?
okay, it's got good songs on it. It does. Like, Up My Sleeves, but Not Really.
Best Death Grip song ever made, by the way. Up My Sleeves.
Bob's was better. But, so, did I like this album. I do. But I think for as much as I love Bjork, like I don't care. I mean, I do care, but that's rude. Sorry, I'm sorry. But
Miss, or I guess nicknaming
um,
her.
for as much as I love Bjork, I do say the vocal samples get a little bit grating on some tracks, and
Oh yeah,
like
that
especially
is an issue I have with Black Quarterback. Which she
yeah
does the
that
same
one.
thing the entire song until the exact end of it when it's like 4 minutes later and it feels like they sort of dragged it on for too long. Like my brain actually can't deal with how much she does the same sound over and over because the payoff takes like 4 minutes. But anyway,
Yeah, but like Ben interrupted me. What the hell? But
I had to say that because that's an important factor
I
in
was
why I
kind of
might not
argue.
put it in S tier anymore. I forgot about
Yeah,
that
but like
song.
I think the vocal samples get a bit grating sometimes. The end of Big Dipper goes on for too long. I mean, it's cool, but it goes on for too long. Some songs are like just mid like black quarterback, and I do like obviously up my sleeves, but not really. I like Have a Side Come. I think it's underrated, but I wouldn't say this is S tier. For me, this is like high B, low A tier.
So I think that would just put it in A tier, wouldn't it? If you're
Yeah,
thinking it
if
might
you
be
want to put
A
it
and
in
I'm
S,
thinking S, I feel like A is the common ground between the two.
yeah, A tier.
All right, so that leaves this album next.
Fashion Week,
Oh, Fashion Week. Okay,
because this was released before Journey Death.
I see.
Journey Death when?
I remember that
Did you know
being.
that about the I like the titles like spelling out Journey Death when?
Yeah, I don't like care about that because it's just cringe. I don't know why they had to put this together instead of just releasing the album. Because I don't think Fashion Week is that
They need to
memorable at
cook.
all.
You need to let them cook.
Well, they clearly were cooking too much. They made an entire extra album instead of just releasing the main album.
Yeah, but like they just need to cook. You need to let them cook.
Okay, I guess so. They cooked a lot.
Okay, so
They cooked too
Fashion Week.
much. They overcooked it
Fashion
and
Week is
released this.
overhated. It's overhated. Some of the instrumentals on here are insane.
I I guess they're.
Runway J
I think the
is the
song
craziest
titles
shit I've
also
ever
aren't helping them. No one wants to remember Runway Letter for their favorite Death Grip song. That just like immediately sort
heard.
of delist it from everyone's favorite songs, unless you're really a huge fan. This is like a this is a novelty album to me. Like you hear it once and it's cool, but you're sort of just waiting for MC Ride to say something on it, and he's just not there. I don't know.
What I think they should have done is release this under the ILYs instead of Death Grips. I think that would have made more sense.
Do you want to explain
And
what that
just
is
Andy.
for the non-stands?
Yeah, for the non-stands, for the normies out there, the ILYs are Andy's and Zach's side project that they have not done anything with since 2018 or 2017. So it's
Mostly
pretty dead.
because no one really cared, but they could have
Yeah,
released it
no.
on there because it's not really memorable on this discography. So if they put it onto a group that doesn't have a memorable discography to begin with, it probably would have just faded away and no one would have cared anyway. But I'm not trying to be a hater.
I
it's
think you are kind of being here.
it's fine. It's just there's no way someone goes back to this frequently. Like
Mm.
think of it like that. No one
I mean, I don't. I
puts
mean,
this
I
on
love some of the
purpose.
instrumentals. Some of the instrumentals are fire as hell, but like, it's like compared to like something like The Money Store or like Ex-Military, I'm not gonna go back to it. So I feel like this is like a D tier.
I'd put it in D tier because there's nothing bad on it. There's just nothing
Yeah, there's
memorable.
something like a few instrumentals are kind of lame, like here and there. But like for the most part, I think like most of them are pretty fire.
If you're
But
like
like,
hyper fixated on them and you need background music, you have options. So
yeah,
that's a little helpful. The I was gonna say something
D
else
tier.
about it. Yeah, D tier is where it should be because we were both agreeing on that. But no, I don't have anything else to say. It's just there. So what is their next album?
Journey Death.
Jenny Death. Okay,
I love Journey Death.
not Jenny Death.
No, you don't love Journey Death?
I didn't understand your English there.
I said I love Journey Death.
Oh, it sounded like you stuttered saying Jenny Death like 4 times in a row.
I'm having a stroke, sorry.
It's fine.
Um,
I like Jenny
so it's
Death.
good.
I don't like the way that Thanks. I just don't like the way they released it. I don't like that it's combined with another album because I'm only ever wanting to listen to albums from the beginning, and I prefer the first half of the Powers That Be a lot more than the second already. So I have no incentive to ever go and listen to Jenny Death. I do really like it though.
Journey Death is goated, bruh.
The I Break Mirrors song is great. That's like a peak Death Grip
There's
song. That's like
so
going back
many
to No Love Deep Web levels of
golden
schizophrenia.
songs on this. Brick Mirrors, Inanimate Sensation, Turned Off,
Inanimate
On
Sensation is
GP,
great. I don't
the
like On GP.
title track.
I think that song is super overrated. I don't even
It's
get
so good.
I don't even
It's
get
so
the point
sad.
about the lyrics being depressing.
It's
I
it's,
don't get
it's so
people who
sad.
are like
It's such a sad
so
song.
obsessed with MC Ride's lyrical ability as if he really is a great like lyrical rapper more than
He
he's a
is.
lyricist. He's not.
He is.
He doesn't have the writing skills of someone who's more
He absolutely.
of a rapper. I
Like
don't. I
this
don't
is
see him
gonna
as writing
sound.
like a rapper.
No, this is gonna sound pretentious, but he writes like a poet. Like it's like poetry.
He doesn't deliver like
A lot
poetry
of his
though.
lyrics.
It just seems like he. A lot of the time, he writes songs and it hits the tone and vibe he's going for. On GP, sounds like it would have been better with someone who has a clearer voice, and like actually has an ability to deliver them in a way that isn't more, slurring words and a little hectic.
But I think that's like
Regardless,
kind of the
the
point of the
lyrics
song
are
as
like
well.
not too. They're not as deep as everyone's saying. They're not as heartbreaking
You
and
talk about him killing
desolate.
himself.
Well, listen, I don't get that vibe from it. I don't
What,
know if that's actually what it's
what
about.
are you on about? You don't get the vibe from it. That's what the song is about, Ben.
That's not my interpretation of it when I've heard it,
How?
unfortunately. But I just,
What are you talking about?
I really haven't had the song hit me like that, as everyone else says it does.
Yeah, there's a difference between a song hitting you and getting the interpretation of the actual song. Because that's just factually incorrect. Because that's what the song is about.
I just really can't understand the words anyway, but if I do look them up, it doesn't seem that desolate, as everyone claims for it to be. If it's about
You're
killing
insane. You're
himself,
an
then
insane person.
then I guess I do have to apologize, and maybe I'll have to donate to a
I'm so sorry
helpline
this
before I get
happened.
canceled. But I'm just saying it
I
doesn't
made a
seem that.
severe and continuous lapse in my judgment.
Is that the lyrics, or you're just saying words at me right now?
No, that was Logan Paul.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I did not kill anyone myself. I didn't film MC Ride, but it's. I've never had the song be that emotional to me, and everyone is so obsessed with it. It's just sort of angering, but it's still a good
I
song.
love on GP. I love it.
Other than On GP, Inanimate Sensation, Break Mirrors, is there any really standout songs in this album?
Send off.
I guess.
Like well, Death Grips 2.0. I think it's underrated. I think
Oh
that's
yeah,
a
that's
fire.
actually a really good song. That's a great instrumental.
I like that song a lot.
2.0 was like another high point in the entire Powers That Be album. So I would personally put this at C tier.
C tier?
Yeah,
What?
I don't like it. I don't have any reason to
I
listen
mean,
to
you
it.
don't like it. You said you did like it.
I like it, but not in a way that I enjoy it. You know.
I would put this in S tier.
So we're putting it in B tier. Split the difference.
Oh, can we put an A? The same as N words.
There's no way it's on par with that. That
It
is
is
that is about
better.
10 steps
It's better.
above Bjork albums.
No, it's better. It's just better.
All right.
Please, 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 please,
I guess it has to
please.
go in A tier then. So we
A
don't
tier for Johnny Death.
break up the podcast before it starts.
God, you're such a fucking asshole, man. I fucking hate you.
I'm not gonna
Put on fire.
not gonna be a hater right now. You're probably right. I just don't care about Jenny Death at all.
Speaking of not caring, it's the interview EP.
I thought that came out before a lot of these, but I guess it's older than I expected. Or
It's before
newer.
Bottomless Pit.
It's before all of okay, yeah. Um I don't care at all. This is just
Neither do
Fashion
I.
Week again,
I
but a little
don't
bit shorter.
care. I mean, it's not bad. There's nothing. I mean, like, interview E is pretty like bad, but like, there's nothing like terrible in it. But I just don't care. Like, I'm not gonna put this on.
That sounds like it's E tier because it's not terrible, but
I think it's E tier, if I'm honest, because I
yeah,
feel like Fashion Week is better instrumentals. It's more memorable.
yeah. So it's E tier for like empty. There's nothing there. They just
E,
wanted to release
e
an
for
album with a funny
empty,
face on
D for dick, C for cock, B for balls, A for and S for s- s- slave. Nope.
it.
Okay.
Is that what S is
Um.
for?
No, that's
Did
not
you
what this is for.
just
Interviews going in E
just
tier
imagine the
for.
vocalist of this group and think of that word? Very
Whoa, Ben. Whoa.
appropriate of you. Anyway, which one are you thinking
Interviews going in E
first?
tier. Sorry,
That
Matthew
is A
Hoffman.
tier. Yes.
Okay, next one.
This is the
I
newest one.
swear to God, if you don't put Bottomless Pit in S tier, I'm gonna fucking kill you.
I do have some thoughts.
Go
Um,
ahead. Let me down easy.
Giving bad people good ideas is too loud.
That's the fucking
It's
point.
really, really abrasive, where it's sort of
That's
just
the
headache
point.
inducing.
That's the point.
I think it sounds cool. I think it's really good as like a
It's
soundscape
hard as
around you.
hell. It's so
It's just really
hard.
claustrophobic and annoying. But
It's
I get
hard
it
as
and I like it.
hell.
Another one is it called Hothead? I haven't heard this album in so long.
Run a cochineal, fucking near hot head.
Yeah, okay, I'm right. That song's really great. I think the
Oh,
vocal part
fire.
is the worst part of it though. I think the break after the vocals are is incredible.
Oh,
Yeah, that's stupid. I don't like that.
no.
That's dumb
It's so good.
sounding.
It's fire as hell. It's so fire.
Anyway, this album is S tier. I just had to get that out of the way. The rest of
Thank
the
you.
songs are incredible. Warping is incredible. 808 is incredible. I think the song, I think Trash it's called, is just boring. Like they're just being a little
Crash is probably
generic
my least
there.
favorite, but it's still good. It's still, I would still listen to it. It's not a skip for me, but it's probably my least favorite if I had to pick one.
It's just, it's a little too much. But I guess if you're listening to Death Grips, that's what you want. So it's like the peak Death Grips album. It
Yeah,
is
and
their
also my
final
favorite
form.
Death Grip song appears on this, which is the title
Oh, I,
track.
I forgot to even mention that. I think the Bottomless Pit title track is the most overrated Death Grips song that has ever been
What do you mean
released.
overrated? No one talks about it. Only I
Everyone
talk
in
about
the
it.
world who has ever listened to Death Grips is so obsessed with that song. Come on.
Me. It's the most fucking fire thing I've ever heard in my life.
It's
Oh, fuck you in
gross.
that.
It's
Fuck you in that.
loud. The guitar is
It's so
not
good.
real sounding at all.
It's so good. It's my favorite song ever. It's my favorite Death Grip song.
Your
It's
favorite song of all
so
time is
underrated.
Bottomless Pit by Death Grips.
But for the audio listeners, we're talking about the title track, Bottomless Pit, off Bottomless Pit. It's the
There's
greatest
nothing
thing
visual to tell them that either. Why'd you say for our audio listeners?
for audio listeners,
Okay.
you know?
Yeah, I get it. But that's your favorite song of all time.
Yes.
You're
It's so
insane.
good. It's so good. It's the most underrated song ever. I don't see anyone else talk about this.
Your favorite song of all time includes the lyrics "I'll fuck you in half." And
It's
you're okay with that.
well, I'm gay, but
That
so,
that's not that's not a gay trait. What do you? uh, Everyone,
I've been run through.
I'm not.
So
You are not. I'm not even gonna go into that. Go
I'm run
continue.
through. Um, yeah, it's my favorite song of all time. It's hard as hell. It's everything. It's okay. Here's the thing. It's the everything you'd want in Death Grip's track. It's there. It's loud. It's abrasive. It's catchy. It's so hard. Everything in there. It's so good. Every line. It's so hard. It's so hard. I'll fuck you in half. It's so good. I that alone would put this album in S tier for me. But since all the other tracks are fire as well, it has to be S tier. It's my favorite album of all time. It's my favorite.
You're a little obsessive about it. It's cool.
'Cause
It's fine.
It's such a good it's such a good album.
It's a little. It sort of hits weird when you're thinking of it as a rock song in any way, because they're just really not pulling that off.
They are though. It's so hard.
The gu-
Do you know that
the guitar is not real. I can't stand it. It's awkward. It
the
sounds out of
guitar's great.
place.
The guitar's so good.
It's fine. The song is like, if I had to rank the songs, that'd be the last,
What?
in my opinion.
Well, you're wrong. But do you know the rocker dude on YouTube who like reacts to albums?
I'm
Like
sure
he's
there's like
bald.
800 of them.
Like I'll have to show you later, but you've probably seen his face.
Patreon.
Um. Yeah, it's Patreon exclusive. But what was I gonna say?
I don't know.
You've ruined everything. Oh, that guy. Okay, long story short, that guy like spot spit, and I felt validated, so I was happy.
I'm just
So
gonna
that was
pretend
the S tier.
like I understood any of that sentence. Yes, bottomless pit is S tier. You're right.
It's good, be. It's good to go. And
Oh, is that what you're? Is this really F tier to you? Is that what you just said to me? Is that what
it's
I'm getting
good,
from you now?
be. It's getting.
This is awful. What are you doing? I have nothing to even
This is
go off of on
this is
that.
my stroke bit. I'm having a stroke. I'm convincing you I'm having a stroke. In the podcast.
What are you doing at all? I get it. You're having a stroke. How am I supposed to ever respond to that?
Call 911. Hello.
Okay, I guess we're
Is
gonna
my
have to
face
make a
drooping
part
from
two
the
to
side?
this. We're gonna have
Is my
to
eyes and my
we're gonna have to
eyes
wait
falling to the
until the
ground?
next episode for me to trash on You're the Snitch. See
What?
you guys in the next one.
Goodbye. We didn't finish the tier list.
Do you want to continue? Or are you just gonna have a stroke and die right now? Because I can call British police, whatever number that would even be, 411, because you're weird. Uh, hello?
I'm dead.
What? How am I ever gonna have a functional podcast if you do this?
Just improvise.
Imp- improvise with a dead body?
Whoa! Weekend at Bernie's.
I'm gonna have to
Steroids.
sit you back up for you to continue this.
Steroids.
Oh yeah, that's the name of the album. You're right. The one song that should not be one song.
I don't like it's one song. I wish it was separated, but it's so fire.
It's
It's
just
so
if you like
fire.
Bottomless Pit, this is part two.
Pretty much. It's gabba music, which is like a fancy word of like hyper electronic.
I don't think anyone calls it that, but it's
It's
interesting.
the full title is Steroids Caution Type of Hidden Gabba Mega Mix.
I guess that is the
That's
full
the genre.
title. Well, I think it's fine. If it
It's
was
so
more than
good.
one song, they split it up,
It's
I'd
so
listen to it
good.
more. This is way too much of a commitment to listen to.
I agree.
I like the
I
part
agree. I
about
do
the
agree.
rap. I think that's the coolest part.
Yeah, but all the songs are fire from front to back. It's got so many memorable moments like my whole life, my fucking life,
Yeah, that's
my
great.
life, my fucking life.
It's one
It's
of my
so good.
favorite Death Group's repetitive moments out of any of their
Um,
music. But
it's
I'd
so
put it in A tier just because I can't stand the structuring of it. But
okay.
it's
It's not that I
incredible.
can't stand the structure of it. I just wish it was separated. If it was separated, that would probably be one of my. That would probably be my second most streamed Death Grips album. Second to Bottom's Pit, obviously.
But can we
Because
rank something lower just because of the structure of its track list?
well, no, I wouldn't put it in S tier because of the structure.
Okay.
Because I would put it in A tier.
That's also where I'd put it. I just don't know if it's fair because it doesn't affect the quality of the music. You just really can't. It's not accessible because of that.
Well, no, because you have to take an account of like how many times are you gonna actively go back to steroids instead of like an individual track.
I
You
mean,
know what I mean?
technically, you could just skip to the points in the song you'd like.
Yeah, but like you need. Okay, you. Never mind. So this is A tier for me.
Same for me. We'll put it in A.
Love steroids. Okay, this one we're also gonna have a heated debate on because
It's so.
one of us in this podcast does not like this album, and the other one really does like this
I
album.
like this album.
You
I
said that
like
about
it.
Jenny Death, and you're like, oh no, I don't like
I
it.
like it. Everything's just wrong with it. To
What does
do
that
with the
mean? What does that mean?
they purposely made it lo-fi, and I cannot stand that. This would have been a great album if it was HD like Bottomless Pit. If it was a clear and 4K and not
HD.
run through a cassette tape, this would be a great album. The fact they made it like an acid trip in a club from the 90s, like, in the backgrounds under layers of like audio fog, it's just not good sounding to me and it's hard to listen to because of that. But the songs under it are fine. It would have just been like a little bit under Bottomless Pit if they had good
It's
mixing. But for me, because of the mixing, I'd probably put it in C tier.
CT. Oh my god. I love this album. I love it. I love it. This would be S tier for me.
I do really appreciate putting disappointed after outro. Unless I'm just misremembering that.
No, that is correct.
Okay,
That's
yeah.
like the joke of like, oh, the album's over, and the fan response is, oh, I'm disappointed, which you are, so you're proving
No,
them right.
that's my favorite song on the album. I guess
No,
this
the
doesn't
whole point is
represent
that
me.
you're disappointed with Year of the Snitch.
And I was, and they were right. But
Well,
that's a great song.
yeah, well,
And I appreciate the horns on this album.
I, I love the jazz. I love the jazz.
I think maybe they
You
just
like
weren't
jazz?
confident in their jazz skills. They made it a little more lo-fi so you couldn't hear the intricacies of it. and that ruined the album for me.
It's so catchy though. Every song is so catchy.
I guess it's
And they got
good,
the director of Shrek, Ben. They got the director of
and you
Shrek on
can't
it.
hear him under the fog at all.
There is no fog. It's just him whispering.
The lo-fi.
Should be 20th Los Angeles, California. I'm in the studio with Death Grips because he's Australian. I'm in the studio with Death Grips. They got James Daly. Um,
Did they get
if you
James
don't know who
Daly?
that is, that's a crazy reference I
Look
just
up
made.
James Daly 4 a.m. if you're listening right now and
Listen
listen to
to
it.
James Daly. No, listen to Dollar. Listen to Dollar
Just
by
don't
James
listen to the
Daly.
Slastic cover. He doesn't do it justice at all. Find the
Nobody
original.
knows what we're talking about.
If you look up
Um,
James Daly Dollar, do not click on the Plastic cover by Denzel Benzel because it's not going to be as good as the
Wait,
original
hang
by
on.
James
Denzel
Daly.
Benzel's dead. All the videos were removed.
Ignore everything I just said and listen to James Daly Dollar.
This is... Oh my god. Okay. Where we're putting Year of the Snitch?
If
You
it
were putting
was
C.
my choice, I'd put it in D tier, but I didn't even want to say that out
D
loud.
tier? What happened to C tier?
C tier is like my peace treaty. But where would you place it?
I'll put an S because I love Year of the Snitch.
So it's
But
B
I would be
tier.
fine if you want to level it out. I'll be fine with B.
Okay.
B tier.
So Dear the Snitch, according to our decisions, is on par with Government Plates and No Love Deep Web. That's such an interesting
It's
take.
such a bad tip. Such a fucking
It's an
bad
unpopular
tip.
take.
Oh my god, we're gonna get so many death threats. Oh my god.
Oh,
For the record, I love You're the Snitch. I love You're the Snitch.
I do
And
not
this is
like Year of
the
the Snitch, and I do not like Bottomless Pit title track. So if you want to bomb my house, I get it.
okay. No one cares about the bonus title track except for me. I'm the lone
You are
defender of that track.
underestimating how much people die over that for no reason. I also don't think Hacker is as good as everyone says. There's my hot
Look,
takes.
point me in the direction of bottomless pit title track enjoyers. Point me to the direction of that, and I will boom
Reddit.com
there. I will edge there.
r/Fantano forever.
No one talks about that track there. Nobody. You're tweaking.
Of course, you would know that. I'm sure you're very
I'm
keeping up to
I'm in
date on
that
every
subreddit.
post. I know you are. I'm
I'm
very
in that
aware
subreddit.
of where you are online.
I have 4K karma on Reddit, so I'm kind of rich.
I have 8K just to flex.
So the rich get richer.
Exactly.
Eat the rich. This is Death Grip's last, not well, hopefully not last, but latest album, and they haven't released an album since.
It's
But
their
they did
last
drop
one. Just
one
sit
last
right
thing.
there.
They did drop one last thing in 2019 that is currently their latest project at all, and they haven't released anything since, and I'm losing hope. Do you have hope that they'll drop again?
No, people kept throwing glow sticks at them, and it's over now.
I know.
That was
I'm
the final
so.
straw,
Hey,
literally.
okay, listen here, you fucks, you absolute bellends. If you are one of the people who pissed in the mosh pit, who threw yeah, yeah, blah, 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 I'm having a stroke again. Who threw glow sticks at MC Ride? Fuck you, and everything you stand for. They're not gonna make another album ever again because of
Really,
you.
really
You
aging
pissed.
Death Grips
You pissed your
fans.
pants
Dead glue sticks.
in the middle of the stage. You threw glue sticks at them.
They peed on the stage and threw glue sticks. MC Riot. What a great concert you just set up
They
for everyone to
clumped all over the
visualize.
place. Okay, they didn't do that.
Okay, thanks. Thanks. That's really that
They
pushes it.
edged all over. Do you think Death Grips would do Joy? Death Grips Joy?
Okay, we're done here. That's F
Death
tier.
Grips Joy. Death Grips Love.
I don't have any response to whatever joy is, but anyway.
Because we're so happy. Yay.
Exactly. This is just like a really long drum solo sound sometimes.
We didn't even say what the name was.
Gmail and the restraining orders.
Jamie and
correct.
Restraining Orders. This is the latest thing Death Grips has done, and most likely going to be the last.
And it
And
wasn't
I'm
even that
so
good.
upset.
What is
I
your
don't
opinion
like
on
it.
this?
Okay, here's the thing. I respect the hell out of it for how fucking insane it is, but I don't like it. Like it's too much,
It's too
even for
long.
me.
I would
It's not,
appreciate
it's not
it
even
if
the
it was
fact
like
that the
8
fact that
minutes.
it's like 28 minutes is crazy. Like the like Zach going on for 28 minutes is crazy, and I respect the hell of it. but I just don't like it. It's too much. It gives me arthritis in my ears.
If this is a sign of what's to come next from them, do you want another album?
Like this.
Yeah, I think this is where they're going, because no one liked Year of the Snitches mixing, so I think they do have to switch
I,
it up.
the, no, I haven't heard anyone talk about the year with the Stitch mixing. I haven't heard anyone talk about that.
Have you seen our DMs?
Yeah, I know you have, but like, because you're fucking weird. But I haven't seen anyone who isn't short, broken, ran through talk about it.
How many short, broken, run-through people do you know?
You.
Okay, I'm broke. Yeah, you're right. So if you'd like to donate to this
Our audio
podcast, I'll
listeners,
have a
Ben's
PayPal link below.
5'3".
I'm 5'7.5", and I'm
He's
$5,000 in
5'3".
debt. Please give me $10 for Patreon.
For Patreon supporters, you will get Ben oiled up.
Okay, I think that has to be where we end it. I think this should be on D tier only because you know, it's not something you
Honestly,
go back
I
to, but
think
it was an
it's
experience.
I think it's E tier. I
Okay,
think
so
it's
E
E
for
tier.
experience.
It's the only thing that's keeping it out of F is that I respect how long Zach went off.
It's
But like,
not.
if it was like a 3-minute track of just bullshit that made no sense, it would be an F tier.
I mean, there's a lot you could say about Death Grips music with that exact description, but that's why
Yeah,
fans
I
like
know,
it.
but like this is too much for them. This is too much. Like if you listen to Gmail Illustrator, honestly, know exactly what I mean. That it's just too much.
What was Fantano's take on this?
He made like one video on his second channel on it, and he said that it was like mid, I think.
Okay,
He
so
he,
I'm seeing
he
where
did a
you're getting
different
your
video.
alignment from. I just think.
No, nope. I will say I'm probably the only person who has listened to this entire thing in full multiple times. Like that's not even a joke. I've done that.
You probably listen to
It
it in
was
full
like
more
one of
than
the
anyone
experience.
else in the world because no one else could handle dealing with any of those noises.
Well,
So I guess
I'm a
E tier,
desperate.
E tier makes sense because other people have also just listened to the interview once and not cared and moved on. It feels like that type of experience again.
Which means nothing is in F tier. Which means Death Grips is objectively the best band in
If
the
it was
world.
my choice, You're the Snitch should be an F tier,
F tier? You went from C to D to F.
and that's
What
where
is wrong with you?
that's where we'll cut it.
Oopsie.